think if we think about 2020 and the COVID pandemic, the reality is that the crisis has hit society, our economy in very different ways. And its impact has been uneven, unequal across society, across different elements of society and economy.
But I really believe that, as much as chaos, right? Because I get to hear people's experiences during COVID, and some of the stories that you hear can be quite heartbreaking, to say the least again. But in those moments, right, you see a lot of opportunities or moments of possibilities.
So 2021, we are hoping that more Singaporeans will be able to get back a little bit more semblance to life, hopefully with phase 3. We're hoping that more of our research would be able to look at how people have become resilient through some of these situations, how they have learned important lessons through the pandemic.
So I think that there were times that I did feel a bit more isolated because in terms of our projects, we were working quite independently.
I'm looking towards meeting people physically, not so much virtually. I've always believed in physical interactions, be it with colleagues, be it with friends, be it with respondents. So that is something I kind of miss. I definitely miss.
Even if the vaccine's out and other things happening, I still think that we will still be used to a digital type of communication. So I think 2021 we'll see a little bit more of the same, especially in the early stages.
For somebody in the older generation, I grew up without a handphone basically, so navigating technology in terms of the upgrades, the features, and getting used to it took a while. But it's great talking to people on video link, on handphones or Zoom makes you mobile. But it also makes you kind of wired to the I would say to the internet in a sense, like 24/7. You cannot really switch off.
I don't know whether I can really foresee the after COVID part.
Because we talk about social distancing, although I think we should say physical distancing because literally just physical distancing, but we should remain social.
So for 2021, I'm certainly looking forward to learn more new ways of doing research, of collecting data, and certainly explore new technologies, new platforms and hybrid forms of communicating the information to our diverse stakeholders. We've decided at IPS to embark on a new project called Reimagining Singapore 2030 to take a hard look at what the COVID-19 pandemic has done to put us on a different trajectory in terms of our future in Singapore. Whether it's an economic one, certainly a public health one, how we interact in our social spaces, that's very key. But we'll also look at healthcare in terms of mental health and social interactions. So I think this scenario planning project is quite interesting and will unfold.
Reimagining Singapore, which really asks that question, or those two questions, how will we live and how will we make a living in 2030 and beyond? And those two interrelated questions will form the basis of our explorations, our research inquiries in 2021 and beyond.
We've taken the first step with the Young Singaporeans Conference to discuss that.
Because past YSCs were always meeting people. But we thought, COVID-19 presented an opportunity for us to do something a little bit different, right? The fact that we weren't stuck within a formal hotel kind of venue meant that we could play around a little bit, be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more casual.
Then Singapore Perspectives is a blockbuster conference that will be delivered in January, in part to discuss the emerging ideas on this issue. And finally, we will go into workshops and a very exciting segment, which is an online public engagement experience or tool to get Singaporeans to share their views about how the future has changed because COVID-19 has taken us and also the world by surprise and has really disrupted life as we knew it. And so the idea is how do we bounce back and bounce back better and do things differently to sustain ourselves through a new world that has been affected by this pandemic.